Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to Kottabos Space Program, where today we are having a look at another fun mod, this time in the form of BD Armory by Bahamuto D. Now we've taken a look at some of his mods in the past. He makes some good quality mods, and for today's we are of course looking at an Armory mod that adds in a whole lot of weapons into Kerbal Space Program. And now recently we had looked at the Bombs mod, which just added in a small selection of bombs and dumbfire missiles that were a very basic, simplistic weapons mod for the game for people who don't want a lot of hassle. BD Armory, on the other hand, is a far more complex Armory mod that adds in a fair few more weapons and a lot more features into the game that something like the Bombs mod just doesn't have on hand. So if we jump into the spaceplane hangar, we will take a look at the different parts that this mod adds into the game, and they are all found here on the utility tab. Well, let's just grab a random little control system here first. So we have all these nicely highlighted, and the first weapon that we have here on the list is the Vulcan turret, a 6-barreled 20 by 102 millimeter rotary cannon. This thing is deadly and dangerous and so much fun. And then the next one we have in the line is a much smaller 50 cal turret. Let's actually pop some of these on for size comparison here. That is the Vulcan. There is the 50 cal. We also have a US Air Force airborne laser system, which is intriguing. It uses quite a lot of electrical charge, but it makes for a very entertaining weapon, and there's the size comparison for that there. Then we move on to the adjustable missile rail part here, which is an essential for, well, mounting your missiles. That's the entire purpose of it. You put it under your wing, and then you can mount a missile, such as the AIM-120 AMRAAM missile, which is a guided homing missile. There we go, and we can just attach that right on there, and with the adjustable missile rail, you can use this to then fire off the missile quite nicely. Now, technically, they can just attach under your wing like that, but it's not going to release. Basically, what these rails add into the game for you is just a nice system for basically a decoupler. And as it says, it is adjustable. I probably should have gone over this before trying to look at this missile here, but we can adjust the height of it here so we can lower it down more, bring it more up into the wing, make it longer for longer missiles such as this AIM missile here. And it's, nice and adjustable, so you can pretty much do whatever you want with this thing. The missiles are equally adjustable. We have drop time and decoupler speed here, which you can adjust to your liking. Now, these guns up here, I didn't really look at those because they only have a toggle feature to turn on or turn off one of the two, including the laser, it would seem. I haven't really played with the laser too much. But yeah, the guns, if you right-click on them in-game, you just toggle them to control. But the missiles, such as this first missile we have here, we do have some adjustable things on here, which is nice. But let's continue on with the list. We then have some ammunition boxes in 20mm, 30mm, and 50 cal ammo boxes so that you can, actually keep firing your guns. Because these guns all come with some ammo built in, but it's not much. You'll go through it pretty quick. So nice to add in some extra ammo boxes so you can continue firing. We then have a modular missile guidance system, which is a nose cone you can strap onto the front of your planes, and, well, is a missile guidance system. That's pretty self-explanatory there. Let's just pop that baby on. Nice little nose cone. Very good. And moving on, we have a cluster bomb, which is a recent addition from the recent update of this mod. It's still apparently a work in progress to do on the description there, and, well, it's a cluster bomb. It's a bomb that drops lots of much smaller little bombs. Very, very fun and very, very big. Look at that baby. Oh, yeah. We then have a countermeasure pod because in the game you do have, well, say, these AMRAAM missiles here. These are guided missiles. You can use the countermeasures to actually launch out, well, countermeasures, essentially flares or chaff or whatever it is in the game, and to confuse the incoming missile that's trying to kill you, because that's one of the fun features of this mod we'll get to later. Yeah, you can have things firing at you. We'll talk about that more in a bit. The next on the list, we have a 173mm cannon, which is, oh, big boy. There we go. Oh, dear God, this thing is big. Look at that. That is, that is big. Bigger than the cluster bomb, and it is just a giant, giant, powerful gun. Then moving down on the list, we have the Goalkeeper CIWS, which is a 7-barrel 30mm rotary cannon with full swivel range. Now, if we take off some of these bits and just chuck them away as they are unnecessary, we can pop this one on so you can see it, and it is basically a automated turret for use of your dive bombing practice abilities to dodge ground fire. It's cool. It's just a giant Gatling gun that shoots at you. Then we have, for your planes, the Hydra 70 rocket pod, which is just a big pod full of rockets, as you might assume from a rocket pod. Then we have the HEKV-1 missile, which is an interesting one. This is a missile that is usable in space. These other missiles, I mean, technically they'll launch, but they can't. They rely on their fins to actually guide to their target. The HEKV-1 missile actually has a thruster system for vector maneuvering, so this one can actually be a guided missile in a vacuum, as it says here on the description, so you can blow up space stations or satellites with it. Good times. We then have this Hellfire missile here, which is a short-range laser-guided missile, most effective for ground targets. Very nice little thing. Oh yeah, I forgot to pop these on for size comparison, and there. Ooh, that is a big missile. It's a space missile. What do you expect? It is big. Let's pop it up over here. Very nice, very nice. Then after that, we have a hidden Vulcan cannon, which is good for putting on the side of your airplanes. So it just sort of fits in line with the fuselage and allows you to have a gun to shoot out. It's quite nice. We then have a howitzer radial, which is a radial-mounted 105mm gun, and it's a big boy. Look at that thing. Oh yeah, nice. So you can make yourself a nice little Panzer tank or something with one of those. Then moving on, we have an M1 Abrams turret here, which, like this Goalkeeper, is a mountable turret that can swivel around and shoot and just have glorious, glorious fun. Basically good for all your tank needs. We then have a Maverick missile, which is another laser-guided air-to-ground missile, very effective against ground targets. A Mark 82 bomb, which is an unguided dumb bomb, a 500-pound one at that, it would appear. Nice little bomb right there. And then a Snake Eye bomb, which is a unguided bomb with air brakes for low-altitude bombing. Very nice. Look at that baby right there. And then we have the AIM-9 Sidewinder missile, which is a short-range heat-seeking missile. And very, very fun. Good for either air or ground targets, really, but probably best for air targets. And one of those missiles, like I was saying, that's effective with the countermeasures, or, well, less effective with the countermeasures. Technically, it's to keep you alive if someone fires it at you. And then the last part we have here is the Weapon Manager, and this allows you to cycle through your missiles and bombs and fire them off, and also is the key to the whole sort of AI abilities in the game, so that you can have crafts fighting back and shooting at you, instead of you just blowing up stationary targets. If we actually, let's remove this turret and pop it on here, we'll take a look at its options, because similar to the missiles and the adjustable missile rail, we have a few more options in here in the Weapon Manager. We can adjust it because it has something called guard mode in this mod that allows for, basically non-player controlled vehicles to basically have a basic weapon AI, so that when they're in guard mode and active, even if you're not in it, it will auto-fire at a target that's not on its team. So we have Team A here set right now. We can switch it to Team B, and anything with guard mode turned on, that's Team A, will shoot at this craft because it's Team B. And you can target or adjust the target types to vessels or missiles. If you have, say, like this goalkeeper, it's quite good at shooting down missiles because it's basically just a giant Gatling gun and it can just shoot them right out of the sky. And then, of course, the armed on or off, so you actually can have it. If it's armed, it'll shoot at you, basically, and ruin your day if it hits you. And then up here, you can change these different bits and bobs here, the scan interval, how often it does scan for enemy aircraft or ground vehicles, its field of view for it to look at, and the range at which it will fire. So a nice little system here, pretty basic, but that's a good thing, because it's pretty easy to understand, and we'll go through that here in just a moment. If we actually just, we'll go through it now. We've pretty much gone through all these parts, and it's pretty simple. You have lots and lots of weapons that will basically go boom, with various options, mostly dealing with the missiles and bombs, doing your decoupler speed or the drop time, etc., and the turrets that, ooh, that one. Oh no, that's just the ammo count of the howitzer, so we could adjust that if you only want half the shells in there. But yeah, that's the basic gist of the weaponry. This is all it has on offer, much more than the bombs mod we had looked at previously, and with a few extra features. So let's take a look at some of those features now. If we exit and go to an M1 Abrams tank, well, I just called it the BD tank here, that I have on the ground right now. And this baby, oh, it's fun. I love this thing. Now, how it works, how things are function in this game. First, well, before we go through that, we should go through this button. This BD Armory button here, if we click it, it brings up the weapon manager, which we can use to control all the same things as if we were in here. Pretty much. Not exactly, but basically everything that's on this is in here, so we can have the weapon list here, and this we can have selected none, where currently no gun selected, or the M1 Abrams cannon, and now we can actually control this cannon here. We can disarm it from up here, which if it is armed, it will basically aim, as you can see, it auto-targeted that BD goalkeeper that I have down over by the runway. Even though it is Team A as well, it still targets it because it is another ship, but it won't shoot at it because it's Team A. And so the arm system will target or detarget anything in front of it. And then in the guard menu, you can adjust those different guard mode bits there that you can turn on and off. But you can also, of course, select on any of these guns and do the enable the turret, and we should be able to control it. Hold on a sec there. Oh, there we go. Just had a little bit of a glitch, and now you can see we are controlling this Abrams turret from doing the right-click and toggle. It should have also done it when we went to the list up here, but it seems to glitch sometimes. This is a mod that is still actively being developed, so there are a few bugs here and there. And yeah, it's a pretty simple turret. You just move around, and you can see the white reticule is where I'm aiming, and the green reticule is actually where it will fire, because of course the turret has a little bit of lag. And the turret does have a full 360-degree range of motion, which is quite nice, and it's fairly powerful. So say that fuel canister over there, bye-bye. Oh, yes. Oh, the destructive glory is beautiful. I really, really do love it. Now, this is quite nice. Basically, the weapons in the game are very, very destructive. I would shoot this tank over here, another goalkeeper, but I actually have plans for it here in a moment. But yeah, the turret is quite slow, both in turning and shooting, but is quite powerful. As you saw, we did destroy that fuel tank over there. I wonder if we can hit this one. Yes, we can, and there it goes. Oh, it's beautiful. And basically how the current damage system works is each bullet that you shoot has a chance to explode a particular part of a ship on impact if you're shooting at another craft. Due to the, I believe, depending on the mass and velocity and the part's impact tolerance. And of course for buildings, it's just whatever their tolerance is. So for instance, these different fuel canisters, they're pretty weak, get exploded quite easily, so boom, there we go. It's just so much fun. I love it. But let's actually turn off this, and let's turn on the Vulcan cannon. Have it armed. And we're going to go to this goalkeeper here, because I want to demonstrate the basic AI system. So right now, guard mode on this tank is on. It will automatically fire at anything within its capabilities to. Let's actually, just for safety's sake, point this thing a little bit more towards it, just to be on the safe side of things. Turn on the brakes, and switch over to this goalkeeper, which currently is Team A. But we can... Oh, nope, this isn't the right one. This is the right one. We can turn it to Team B, but I'm actually going to turn it around. We might be able to get a few shots off on the tank before it does kill us. It probably won't, though. Well, we turned on the Vulcan cannon rather than the actual turret, so there is a possibility that we'll survive. I was playing around with this earlier, and the turret for the tank just one-shots this thing into oblivion, and it's just glorious. Of course, then I forgot to turn off the guard mode while the tank was still pointed at the runway, and then it shot a plane that I tried to take off instantly when it spawned. But yeah, let's turn this to Team B. And, ooh, we're not armed. There we go. System is armed. And we're not firing at the tank. Oh, the tank fired at us, though. So yeah, that's how the basic system works for that. Oh my. Oh, it's still shooting in that direction? What? Intriguing. Oh, maybe because we're still technically looking at it, so technically it's still there, I guess. But the system is armed, and you saw it automatically killed that other tank, which is... it did it effectively. Oh my god, it turned back on the M1 Abrams cannon. Intriguing. I wonder... I don't know if this is a thing, but I wonder if it changes which gun to best suit the situation. Which, of course, we had it on the Vulcan turret. That probably wouldn't have done much damage to that little goalkeeper, but the M1 Abrams cannon, oh boy, certainly did. But let's turn the guard mode off. Turn that system off entirely. And head on over to this tank. Arm it. It should all be on. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go back to the Space Center, and I'm going to load up a plane that I built earlier with a few little things. Actually, I didn't build a plane. I just took an Ares 3A and added crap to it. Now, I'm hoping we'll be able to take off. I don't know if that'll be possible. You know what? Let's actually, just to be on the safe side, let's see, yeah, he's not turning. I don't, because his 100-degree field of view, he's kind of looking over here, and since we're behind him, we're safe at the moment. But I'm actually going to turn this to Team A, just to ensure that we can take off safely. And you'll notice under my plane here, I've got some lovely Hellfire missiles and some rocket pods. Good times, good times. And of course, our little weapon manager up here, so that we know who we are. And let's start up this engine. And take off. Now, one of the things in the game is you are supposed to be able to select whichever weapon from this list and then just hit the left mouse button to actually fire it. I have discovered that that doesn't always work with all of the weapons. We're armed right now. Maverick missile, let's switch that up. Bring our landing gear up and see if it'll work here today. And just in case it doesn't work, you can individually put missiles on action groups, which I have this plane on currently. But we're going to try to actually shoot with the left mouse button, like we did with the turret of the tank. It's supposed to work, but like I said, it doesn't always. We are currently locked on to the BD goalkeeper. That is our green target up there, and let's see if... Nope, see, it didn't work. Well, actually, it lost its target there for a moment. Turn ourselves to Team B. Let's see if that thing will actually hit us. Oh, didn't yet. Didn't yet. I'm actually surprised. Oh boy, let's not crash. Oh, you all know me and my awful flying. But yeah, I don't know if... Yeah, I don't think the mouse clicking is gonna work here. It seems to be bugged. Sometimes it works for me. Sometimes it doesn't. It always works on the Abrams tank turret, but it doesn't always work for missiles. Yeah, see, it didn't work again that time. But, even though we aren't locked on, I can just hit 1 And there we go. We launched a rocket. Now, of course, it's not locked on to anything, so it's just going to fall and explode. But hey, you know what? That's still fun, too. All right, let's... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, and we exploded. Let's revert flight back to launch. I am an awful pilot. All right, we're going to keep on Team B. I would like for this thing to fire at me. It should. Now, let's just double check. Let's switch over. It is... Oh, it's not armed. Armed Team A. Okay, the weapon should be active. Now, we're Team B. Let's take off, and this thing hopefully should fire at us as we're taking off. Perhaps. And... didn't shoot. Yeah, so it worked perfectly well with the tank turret earlier. Yeah, it does seem to have a few issues with that, but when it does work, it is very fun. Oh boy, we are... I forgot to turn on the minute controls and the SAS. That would definitely help. But besides our Hellfire missiles, well, I would like to get a good lock on one of these things. Let's see, we are locked onto the BD tank right now, so let's fire a missile. And it is not locking on. Huh. And now it's just going to fall out of the sky. Okay, well, let's try the second Hellfire we have. Oh, there we go. That one is locking on and moving in. And, oh, there we go. We took that baby out. Now, we do have guns here, the Vulcan cannons, that are supposed to be on the mouse button, but those don't seem to want to work today. Again, yeah, the mouse button definitely seems a bit off. But, you know, oh well. Let's turn on the rocket pods. Those aren't going with the mouse either, but I have hooked that one onto a action group as well, so let's line up. There we go. Oh, boy. Oh, we're gonna die. Oh, boy. Okay. We still have rockets to spare, and now we're out. Now I'm gonna revert flight back to launch and show you one last thing on the mod, because I'm an awful pilot. I'll never be able to hit these things. Thankfully, we did at least take out this one right here with one of the guided missiles. I'm still not sure why it didn't attack. We got the tank to attack successfully earlier. But yeah, I've been having issues with that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the final thing to look at here is the settings menu. Now, besides the weapon manager here, we also do have settings, and if you hit Alt-B, it opens up the BD Armory settings here, which you have different things to select, including your gun fire key. You can change that. You can also change the physics load distance. The different options you have up here: insta-kill, bullet hits, eject shells, infinite ammo, aim assist, draw aimers, draw debug lines, allow remote firing, so you could have one of these things fire when you tell it to by a command or something along those lines, and a bomb clearance check. That's one of the fun things with the bombs. I didn't build a plane with it because, well, you all know I suck at flying. I'd never be able to hit a bomb. But you saw the reticules. Whenever we have one of these weapons open, that's where the weapon should hit when you fire. Now, the bomb one, it will kind of go low, and it should be the location where your bomb hits once you click to drop it. So those reticules should work quite well for that. But yeah, that is the basic settings menu we have here. Nice little bit of things. The infinite ammo one is quite amusing and should make things quite interesting for you if you just want to destroy the entirety of the Space Center here. But yeah, that is going to be it for this episode. A pretty basic one today, but a fun mod that's more complicated than the bombs mod, but still not overly complicated. I know long ago we looked at, oh god, I forget the name of it, but it was another weapons mod, and it was complicated. Very, very complicated. This BD Armory is kind of an in-between. That one we looked at ages ago, and the bombs one we looked at recently. It's got more than bombs, has a few extra features like the AI things, which seem to be a little bit hit or miss at the moment. It could just be I'm doing something wrong. You might be just fine. But still, altogether, even with a few janky things here and there, this mod is just so much fun. It's just a hilarious good time being able to launch rockets, shoot guns, and roll a tank around the space center, blowing up all the buildings. It's just awesome. So yeah, if you would like to check out this mod for yourself, just follow the link in the description as always. And of course, I hope you have enjoyed this video here today, and that you come back for the next one. We'll be looking at yet another fun mod. But until then, thank you for watching, my friends, and as always, have a good one. I wonder if the rocket pods would blow up if I fire them now. Yes, I would die. That definitely killed me. Well, there's part of the plane flying. Later, guys.